Now, welcome to another Mandalorian re-review. This time it's Season 1, Chapter 7, The Reckoning. And let's get right into that review.
Okay. Well, we start out with Mando on the Razor Crest. He is looking at that message from Greef Karga that the droid kind of unlocked in the previous episode.
Yeah.
In the message, Greef tells him that the client and his Imperials have taken over the city, and that makes him mad. So he asks for Mando
I think he put it a little differently than that, but all right.
So he asks for Mando to come back and kind of take care of it for him, and he'll make it worth his while. He'll have some guildies help out. They'll, kill the client, and then Greef will clear his name, and
that wasn't the plan.
Grogu
The
will be
plan
fine.
was far more complex than that.
Well, I simplified it because it's easier this way.
Yes. I suppose
That was pretty much the plan he was told.
Use the child as bait was the plan.
Yeah.
And then shoot him and kill the head of the snake, and that's it. We win. No more Imperials.
That's kind of what I said. Alright, so Mando goes to get the gang back together to ensure his safety, because he doesn't quite trust Greef anymore. Or if he ever did. First, he goes to get Cara Dune, who readily agrees to come when she finds out they're going to be fighting Imperials. Grogu learns how to fly on their way back.
Does he, though?
Sort of. He kind of shakes the ship up, and it makes Mando think, I guess I need a babysitter, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I wonder who we could find.
So he flies back to not Tatooine to pick up Quill. We learn that Quill reprogrammed IG-11, which was interesting and kind of weird because we kind of had an idea that after Mando liberated Grogu, he went back to his ship and the Jawas were scrapping it, right?
Yep.
And then he went to Quill and was like, hey man, I need some help. But when you show the flashback of Quill going to the bad guy base, that's what I'm going to call it.
Yep, good name for it.
The base is still smoking.
I think IG-11
IG-11
still
had some wisps of smoke coming out of him.
If he got shot about 30 seconds ago. Like, Quill just, was right behind Mando. Like, as soon as he clears out that base, I'm taking everything.
Did he come and, take that right away? When did that even happen? We don't even know.
I don't know.
It
feels like it happened, moments later.
Right, I'm we could have just taken the smoke away.
Yeah, but it makes it more dramatic.
Well, we find out that when Quill went and salvaged IG-11, he found out that the droid was, the mental state was pretty much gone, and he had to reprogram him from scratch, kind of retrain him, reteach him how to do things he should know how to do, which was a long process, and he says now IG-11 is meant to protect. He's no longer a hunter. Mando is convinced by Quill that IG will come on the mission because Quill said so. He has spoken. That is the rule. He also says that he's bringing the blurgs because he loves his fish dinosaurs. Because Quill has spoken.
Yeah, because they don't want to walk.
No.
I guess he knows there's going to be a lot of walking, and Quill's not down with that.
Yeah, Quill and Cara are not immediately friends either.
Or could it be because Quill knows there's going to be an epic race chase scene at the end of the episode?
I think Quill doesn't want to walk.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
His legs aren't made for walking. He's a little bit older.
Is he?
But yeah, Cara and Quill do not hit it off right away. I mean, she hates Empire. She sees him as an Empire because he was sold into servitude there. He was like an indentured servant for what he put as 3 human lifetimes.
I don't understand that, but okay.
I don't know how long they live. Nor did the war go on that long.
The Empire was only around for 25 years, so...
It's been a long time.
It's a confusing statement. It makes it sound like he was an indentured servant before the Empire.
Possibly.
And just got sold from whoever to the Empire. I don't know.
Well, then Cara and Mando decide to do some arm wrestling, which Grogu thinks they are fighting and decides he's going to help Mando
I think
by
he's trying to offer.
Force choking Cara.
Yeah.
Yep. None of them are really sure about what he did / what he is at this point.
Which is kind of confusing. I still don't understand how Cara Dune doesn't know what the Force and the Jedi are being a rebel. Yeah. You know that Luke Skywalker guy, I'm sure somebody may have mentioned at some point, and the Jedi and all that.
Well,
Not to mention...
Quill has been along for 3 human lifetimes. He would have been around when the Jedi were.
That is another good point. When they were... I mean, he would remember the Clone Wars and the Jedi. It's one of those things that I'm not really sure why no one seems to remember the Jedi and the Force 25 years later. Or, I guess, 30 at this point.
They Men in Blacked him. Whole galaxy.
Maybe. I mean, I can still remember, the early 90s pretty well. Didn't forget everything that happened there. It's not like a myth suddenly. The 90s happened, and those are roughly 30 years ago at this point. So, I don't know. It's one of those things I find very interesting. And I understand the galaxy, not everybody hears everything. I get it. But I think people would have heard about the Jedi and the Force.
All right, Mando arrives on scene with his posse, and the group move out, heading to Navarro. They stop in camp for the night to go over the plan. Then that's when a creature attacks in the night, injuring Greef, stealing 2 blurgs, and killing one of the guild hunters. Greef is being poisoned by the wound until little Grogu waddles on over, and he saves him with Force healing.
Mm-hmm. Force healing.
Yep, right there. Force healing. Little Grogu could do it.
That's so when Rey does it, no one's like, oh, look. Force healing.
On the last leg of the journey, Greef surprises everybody by turning around and killing the remaining 2 hunters, explaining that the plan was always to kill Mando and steal Grogu, but he changed his mind after Grogu saved him. Mando then offers to use himself as bait, and Quill will take Grogu back to the ship to try and keep him safe. In the town, we see it is overrun with Imperials. Not just a little extra, the full Monty. I don't know why no one's called the New Republic to clear them out.
Don't ask questions like that. They're
okay.
Well, it's kind of implied that the New Republic isn't doing so well.
They're struggling, yeah.
Yeah, like, he's even the client is like,
hey, we haven't gotten to the client yet.
Things better now?
Well, Greef, Cara, and Mando meet up with the client in the local bar, having some drinks.
Libations.
The client blusters on about how great the Empire was and how crappy the New Republic is.
Are things better now?
There, see, now you could do it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The client then takes a call in the middle of his discussion, and it's a call from Moth Gideon, who we don't know his name Moth Gideon yet, but that's Moth Gideon.
He does say Moth Gideon. He says, hello, Moth Gideon. Maybe not that exactly, but...
Who implies that the child is not there. Like, he should check. You really think you got the kid?
That was a bit strange.
And that's when the fighting ensues.
Well, the slaughter, actually, they light up the place, the Death Troopers do.
Oh, yeah, it's not a good time.
I would have checked the thing immediately. Like, the client seems like a pretty sharp guy, but he's like,
well, why weren't there little,
yeah, the
fobs
troopers
going
outside.
Off? Why weren't the tracking fobs going off?
Let's not try to figure out the tracking
That's how I think
fobs.
that Moff Gideon assumed it wasn't there.
Something.
Moff Gideon's like, tracking fob doesn't say you've got this thing. It's not where you are, so...
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like everybody needed to be stupid and not check for the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Including
why
the really
would you
smart
check
guys.
for it if you think it's there?
Well, why would you think it's there?
Because the pod was there.
Well, that doesn't mean the baby's in the pod.
The pod was there, and the person who took the baby was there.
Okay.
And Greef, who you have a modicum of trust in because he brought you the betrayer, says it's there.
I still want to see the baby.
Well, he was making those demands until Gideon got on the horn.
Yeah, I suppose.
He was like, I want to see the baby. So he's resting. He's like, we'll be quiet. He was saying that they would do it. They were going to check.
I know.
And then Gideon called, and he was so, eager to impress. He's like, yes, we totally have it.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was stupid. He was asking for those credentials, and then he got interrupted.
I would have. That's the first thing. I want to see the baby before we even sit down and have a drink.
He's a casual business kind of guy.
I don't get that impression from him.
Yeah, but then a firefight breaks out.
Pew, 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 pew.
Revealing a ton more troopers. Like an Imperial transport shows up. Ton of troopers. And 6 Death Troopers. And everyone inside is dead except the hero people.
Shocking.
Even the bartender droid.
Yeah, it was like an old Star Destroyer droid.
And we see the scout troopers head out after Quill, zooming across the dunes there, or the lava fields or something.
Yep.
Just as Moff Gideon arrives on scene.
In his cool, foldy, winged TIE Fighter.
That's just how they land when they don't have access to stairs.
I mean, it's a good idea.
It's not a bad idea, and I don't know why they couldn't all be doing that.
No, I don't know.
I mean, we really never see them landed on planets, so maybe they do all do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're like those buses that kneel down so people can get on the steps easier.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Kneeling buses.
Yeah.
Kneeling TIE fighter. Maybe he's got an old injury from the war.
Maybe.
Whatever. But the episode ends with Quill being gunned down right outside the Razor Crest and Grogu being taken.
And Moff Gideon being like, you do not understand what you have. That's not a really good
No,
Moff
and that's
Gideon
not even the
voice.
last scene. The last scene is the one I just described.
Yeah, but I was trying to make them know that Gideon is got some things to say.
Gideon was on scene.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything important, so...
He said a lot of important things. I mean, we have the benefit of hindsight to know things, but he's like, a child is really important. You don't even
Well, we knew
begin
it was
to understand.
important. Everyone wanted it.
Yeah,
Makes
but
it
we didn't
important.
know it was like that important. I mean, we did, but
If everyone
we
wants it,
didn't.
it's important. That's it, man. That's the whole episode. We got one left in season 1.
It was a good episode. Mm-hmm. Really good episode. A lot of little cool tidbits in there, especially the first time you watch it with talking about some, all the Beskar.
Well, next week we'll finish up
Mandos and what happened to them.
season
and New
1
Republic.
and move right on into season 2.
Yeah.
we'll probably be doing 3 of these a week now to make sure we're done before Mandalorian Season 3.
Yeah, we got only a month to bust up 8 episodes and 3 episodes of the Book of Boba
Chapters,
Fett.
maybe.
Anyway, that's all we got for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this episode. Tell us what you thought of the 7th chapter of The Mandalorian. And let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.